Hello, sports fans. I'm Harrison Larner, and along with my co-hosts Peyton Gallagher and Adam Dreyfus, this is Dynasty Sports Radio on Dynasty Sports Network. It's great to be here. How you guys doing today?
Pretty good. I'm excited to get into this.
I'm good, but I'm quite tired right now. But hopefully,
Totally understand.
The grind doesn't stop.
Let's bring high energy to today's show. First topic today: NBA Finals, or really just the NBA MVP. Who you got?
It's a tough question because there's this Godzilla team over in the Bay Area right now, and I don't know, like, maybe they take enough away from each other's touches to where that's not an MVP candidate. I think the hype that's built off of this finals and the way that LeBron's riding, now that he has no pressure, assuming he resigns in Cleveland, because technically he's still a free agent, but he's going to resign with the Cavs. Right. So maybe I think he has a favorite. The other, oppositely, Russell Westbrook, if he stays in OKC, he's going to be playing with a mission in his heart to prove to the world that they don't need KD. So if he has a great season, my friend Evan Oshowitz was referencing how he had 18 triple-doubles next year and probably will have even more in this upcoming season. I think Westbrook definitely could be a guy in that conversation.
Well, I think someone that we may have forgotten about because he broke his leg, obviously playing for the United States basketball team, is Paul George. If you can remember just a few playoff series ago, LeBron high-five Paul George, almost kind of passing the torch to him. And I think this year, coming back healthy, I kind of like the progression from Miles Turner, which will certainly help his game. If the Pacers can pace and space a lot better. Oh, I see we're getting a caller. No, never mind. Sorry.
Technical difficulties, people.
We'll pass that on just a little bit later. And I really feel like Paul George is someone who could break out for them this year.
I also agree with your Paul George pick. Not just because of his progression, but I think the team they built around him is a good team. I think the addition of Jeff Teague and he saw what he was able to do with the Hawks. Not great numbers, but he's still a good player, good point guard. And with Monta Ellis, could take some of the scoring responsibility. I think Paul George will have a really good season. I'm not saying MVP, but he's definitely going to be up there in the discussion.
So then who's your MVP candidate?
I have to give him LeBron.
Okay.
Because I think just after seeing his finals, if he can do that on a consistent basis, which obviously he won't be able to do what he did in the finals, if he just play similar to that level on a consistent basis, then there's no question.
So going across the board, I think mine is probably Westbrook. Yours is Paul George and LeBron James. Pretty good company.
Definitely. Now on from basketball to a totally different sport. We got the state of United States soccer. Just in the Copa America tournament, they placed third. Coach Jurgen Klinsmann up in the air. Could he return? Could he leave? How do you feel about where United States soccer is?
Harrison, I think they actually finished fourth, and that could actually really factor into whether Jurgen returns. Obviously, for some reason, his name is in the England's managerial hats. I don't really get that because he's never reached the level that England's they complain about the same things in England about how they never get too far in major tournaments. Well, that's what the U.S. is coming up against right now. We, as the United States, I support this team with all of my heart. We always come up short because we play well against good teams and we're not afraid. You get up against a monster team like Argentina and they collapse, and it happens over and over again, and I'm tired of seeing it.
Well, obviously, Klinsmann not only this year did disappointment. Well, no, I wouldn't say disappointment in this Copa America, as they were very good teams. But I go back to last year in the Gold Cup. Not winning the Gold Cup last year was
because he wasn't even on the hot seat.
No, and also it was in the United States, and the only real big competitor was Mexico, and they weren't at their strongest last year as opposed to this year.
It's even
Did we
more.
get to Jamaica? Was it one of those small island nations?
Even more disappointing is the fact that we didn't qualify for the Olympics when there's teams like Fiji that have qualified for the Olympics. I understand teams often don't put up their first squad, but it's a chance for the United States to be showcased on a world stage with plenty of people watching.
Not just the United States, but the youngsters. Because we keep hearing about Julian Green and Gideon Zalala, but we have not seen them. Other than Julian Green's one appearance against Belgium in the World Cup, we have not seen them featured. So they keep talking about all this, he's young players,
Yeah,
they just are not getting
Bill Hammond's another guy like that, the young goalkeeper who plays for DC United.
And he can push out someone like Graham Zusi, who's phasing out and doesn't have it in the future.
Especially in that third place game, it was really a chance for youngsters to be played. And it was really just disappointing that perhaps maybe that's the reason that Jurgen might not be continuing with his team, is the fact that he simply didn't push the youngsters forward, trying to move that next generation in.
Well, my thing is that Jurgen has done things that no other U.S. manager has done consistently, at least. We've consistently been in a place where we're okay. We can play with the best in the world. We just haven't gotten over that hump yet. The World Cup is a prime example of that. Chris Wondolowski missed 2 sitters in extra time. Otherwise, we're playing Argentina in the next round. And we're in the round, I guess it would have been of 16. Quarterfinals at the World Cup. And that's only 2 years removed from this. So it's crazy how stuff has changed. And it's crazy how people look at Klinsman. I definitely think he should retain his job for at least one more year.
I think despite all I definitely see where the criticisms come from Clinton, but I agree saying that he should keep the job because looking at the players that he's brought in, obviously it's a national team, so you can't say, oh, he's signed some players, but even recruiting the half American, half Germans like John Brooks.
Julian Green could have signed with the Germans, right?
Yeah, Julian Green, Gideon Zalal, John Brooks, he's screwed. He's full, obviously Green and Zalal are more for the future, but Brooks, arguably, in my opinion, he's the best player, the best American player right now.
Nagby too. Nagby also, who's like, I think is going to be incredible.
And he had to recruit them in order to play for America. So I think his job getting talent there has been good, but he just needs to develop the talent further.
So today, on today's final topic, a little bit of NFL talk. So a lot of excitement for this upcoming NFL season. Who are you guys as sleepers for Tabs teams that may overperform, teams that maybe didn't do so well last year but can make a big playoff push this year?
Well, I know I've got one in mind, and it's the Jacksonville Jaguars. I feel like that team is ready to make the jump with the defensive additions they've made. You know, they finally get Dante Fowler to play. And it's kind of up in the air with Jalen Ramsey because he had the knee surgery before the season started. It's a minor procedure from everything I've heard. Should be back by week 1. That's another addition to a defense that was really weak. I said Malik Jackson earlier. I believe Dante Fowler will be back on the field finally. Miles Jack is another great player that could have gone in the top 5 that they drafted in the 2nd round because of a knee injury. So the defense looks like something that Gus Johnson can actually work with. Or Gus Bradley, right? Gus Bradley, sorry, I screwed up the name. But Gus Bradley, the offense was there last year. Blake Bortles took that big leap. Allen Robinson looked like I don't want to say top 5, but definitely an elite caliber receiver in this league. Allen Hurns. They've got Julius Thomas. They bring in Chris Ivory, TJ Yeldon. The offensive line is improving. I think everything is clicking at the right time in a weak division, and they can really make that jump this year.
Definitely, I 100% agree with you. Their youth movement is certainly coming in. So it's like we can see maybe get some calls in and, see what the listeners are thinking, see what they're feeling about the upcoming season. Let's see, we have a call here. Drew from Kansas. Drew, welcome to the show. Good to have you on. Great to see. Great to see. We're talking about NFL sleepers. Do you have any NFL sleepers you like? Really, what particular do you like about the Chiefs and what they can possibly do this season?
It's a very good point. The Chiefs have a very deep roster, very deep backfield in particular. The thing is that this team won 11 straight games last year after starting 1-5, and they get Jamal Charles back. And Justin Houston, even though he may not be there for the beginning of the season, he's going to be in the team.
Even if he isn't there for the beginning of the season, the games that he does, he will make a big impact.
D Ford really showed up at the end of last year too. I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm biased, obviously. I'll just come out and say that. But I really like our team. I think we could be the favorite in the AFC this year just because of how complete the roster looks. Alex Smith, there are always the questions about him, but if he can become a leader and become a guy who not only will not lose you a game, but can win you a game, this team is ready to make that jump and challenge the game.
Obviously, you're talking about how complete the Chiefs are. If there's one area on the team that you'd improve about the Chiefs in order to have them make the next step,
I think it has to be the area of passing attack.
It would be the receiving group, but then again, they've added good players. Like they signed Street from the Raiders, so he's going to be hopefully somebody who can help in the passing game. Obviously, Albert Wilson has that speed downfield. Mike Conley, they're looking to have him take another step after a decent rookie year.
I think the problem is if you're listing Chris Conley, Albert Wilson, and Rob Streeter as possible difference makers for the Chiefs at the wide receiver position, that's not.
I left one out though, and his name is Jeremy Maclin.
Well, that's great. That's great. They have an average number 1 NFL receiver. That's great. But their number 2 receiver will without a doubt be way below average. Number 3 below average. And I think that's the problem in the first place. The going back to a couple years ago, they didn't have a receiver catch a touchdown. It's the same problem for the Chiefs. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for listening. It's great to be on here. I'm Harrison Lawyer, live co-host Payne Gallagher, Adam Dreyfuss with Dynasty Sports Radio. Thank you so much.